In this tutorial, I'm gonna show you the way how to create that dope tunnel. We're gonna be basically putting together the timelines and then creating a tunnel in the 3D space. This one is gonna be a fun one, and without further ado, I'm gonna take you straight to After Effects. Alright, so we're back in After Effects. Here we got the comp settings. I'm just gonna drag the timeline onto the timeline. That's the only asset I prepared for today. So just hit W on the keyboard, hold shift, and make sure it's vertical. Now what I'm gonna do is create a new camera. Let's say we're gonna pick a preset of 35mm, hit OK. Then we're gonna go for a new null object. We're gonna rename. I'm gonna parent, drop it underneath, and we're gonna change it to cyan. Next thing we need to do is turn on the 3D on everything, and I'm gonna click on the timeline and hit R. Here what we need to do is basically play around with X rotation, so we're gonna set it to say -90. Now I'm gonna go to action save, and I'm gonna hit P, move it a little bit forward, and now with Z position over here or here, I'm just gonna drag it lower. So now the goal is to align that part with the bottom line over here. So we can actually do it here. While you hold control, you can be more precise. And honestly, we could figure it out with even numbers, but I'm too lazy for that. So what I'm gonna do next is duplicate that layer, and I'm gonna drag it with Z position upwards. So this time we wanna align that part with the upper line over here. So again, I'm gonna go to Z position, hold control, and try my best with aligning. Next thing I'm gonna do is hit Control D, click P, and I'm gonna recenter position. Hit reset, and I'm gonna go to rotation, and in Y value, if I change it to 90, it's gonna be perfect for setting it up to the side. The only thing I would do is probably just go here, and with X, I'm gonna drag it over here to just try my best to align it. Okay, should be perfect. Now I'm gonna go back here, open action save again, and I'm gonna select that layer and just drag it to the side again. Just align it with the last line over here. I'm gonna duplicate it, and we're gonna put it to the other side. Alright, that's pretty much perfect. So if we go to cam control, hit P, and we start playing around with the value, we're gonna move forward. The only thing I would probably do is just close it down a little bit more. So for this, I'm gonna go to position in the bottom timeline and do it like that. And then I'm gonna do the same for the upper one. Yeah, something like that should do. Now what I'm gonna do is select all of these. I'm gonna pre-compose them, call it timelines, and we're gonna rasterize that layer. Next thing we need to do is hit Control D for the timelines. I'm gonna turn on the 3D layer. I'm gonna hit P and move it forward. Okay, it's perfectly aligned. We can see it from the side. I'm gonna duplicate it one more time, move it again to the front, and maybe one more time. Okay, should be perfect. Now with position in our cam control 1, we can move forward so we don't see any black area over here. Just like that. So this is gonna be our starting or final position. We'll see about that. So for now, I'm just gonna put that keyframe somewhere here. Also, I'm gonna hold shift, click R, and keyframe Z rotation. I'm gonna align it with this, and I'm just gonna move to the very front. We could probably add some sort of a text here, say tunnel. We're gonna recenter it. I'm gonna bump up the scale. Also, I'm gonna turn on the 3D layer, and I'm gonna recenter it. Okay, so that's what we have so far. It's already looking pretty cool. And now here in the very beginning, for Z rotation, I'm just gonna change the first value to 1. So that way it's gonna go with 360 degrees. I'm gonna select them all, then hit F9. I'm gonna go to the graph editor, and we could actually create a peak in the middle, just like that. Already looking pretty awesome. I'm gonna close the second view, and we're gonna actually change the resolution so my PC can handle this. I'm gonna change the resolution over here as well. And here to the tunnel, we're gonna add deep glow. I'm gonna bump up the radius. And as for the timelines, I'm gonna also probably add deep glow, or maybe glow this time. So basically we just need to play around with the values so it looks good. Okay, I don't remember when was the last time I used regular glow. Okay, I'm gonna copy this and paste it into 3 other layers. Ooh, that's too intense. So I'm just gonna go back and change the glow intensity. Then I'm gonna copy and paste it to other 3 layers. Now if we go back, it's gonna be applied to all the timelines we have in this scene. And also here we need to turn on the motion blur and make sure our PC explodes. It's pretty cool, but the problem is that I feel like the rotation is too intense. I'm just gonna go back here, and what we're gonna do is change it to 0, and then I'm gonna probably add like, I don't know, say 120. And the next thing I'm gonna do is select these two, right click, go to keyframe assistant, and we're gonna time reverse keyframes. So that way, we're just gonna go from the front to the back. So that's what we have. Already pretty cool. I'm just gonna extend the keyframes to make the movement slower, and we're gonna probably just play around with rotation a little bit, I mean with the graph. So here we got the exact same graph as in the position. So for this, I'm just gonna probably drag the left point to the left, and then we're just gonna make it a bit more subtle. That's how it's looking. That's so good. Wait up, we need to add the camera shake. So we're gonna go here, alt click point of interest, type in wiggle, and then in brackets we're gonna add say 1.5, 20. Okay, that's gonna be fire, but the problem is that it's extremely choppy, so I'm just gonna change the resolution. And what I'm gonna do next is duplicate cam control 1, and we're gonna go back with that movement. So yeah, basically just delete these two last keyframes and parent 1 to 2, and then what we're gonna do is just move backwards. We could also probably play around with the rotation, I guess. So basically what we need to do is just decrease the value. Okay, that's gonna be so good. It's kind of reminding me of these animations with the cars where they are doing these very fast to slow movements and they are playing around with the graphs a lot there. So it's kind of an imitation of that. Okay, and maybe let's do one more. I'm gonna hit Ctrl D and I'm gonna delete the last keyframes, parent 2 to 3, and then we're gonna go back to the very end. So we're just gonna do it like that. And we're gonna probably add more of rotation here, just like that. Maybe we'll need to turn the text around. Make sure to select all the keyframes and we're gonna apply the mid graph. All we need to do is just squeeze in the keyframes because I want the last movement to be extremely sharp, and we're gonna put it somewhere here. Okay, that's pretty cool. Maybe even more rotation so we can turn it around. Yeah, that glow is killing the PC. I would just give that animation a little bit more time over here, so we're just gonna squeeze it in so we can get closer to the tunnel, and let's see now. I just don't like that the rotation is so intense here. So for this, I'm just gonna probably go with something more subtle. Let's see now. I'm having so much fun with this animation. I'm gonna hit R for the tunnel. I'm gonna keyframe Z, match it with that set of keyframes, go here, and we probably wanna finish evenly. So I'm just gonna do it like that. Okay, and then I'm gonna play it with rotation over here. Okay, and now I'm gonna apply the same graph. Actually, when the text is rotating, it's looking pretty cool. Look at that now. The only thing I'm gonna do is just extend that movement over here a bit. I'm just wondering, maybe adding an adjustment layer on top and then optics compensation would be a good idea. Let's see, I'm gonna change it to 30 or maybe 45, and we're gonna reverse lens distortion. Probably a bit better, to be honest. If you don't want to have that many colors, you can just use this. I think I'm gonna leave it like that. Alright, so the next thing we need to do is turn on the full quality, and let's see that beauty. That's such a dope animation. Honestly, I had no idea that it was gonna turn out so good. Just look at that. Alright, so here you got the final effect. Hopefully you enjoyed this one, and without further ado, I'm gonna wrap it up here and I will see you in the next one. Cheers guys.